All right. What's up, everyone? Hi, Alicia. Farir, thank you for being here. Mike, appreciate that. I hope this view is better than the I had previously. I even used my light over here so that way I could try to shine it so that way y'all could see it a little bit better. Let me know if this is better than before. I'm really excited about this one. Get a lot of blending going on, a lot of colors as far as the sky over here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Again, we're gonna go over usually what I use. And the nice thing about this palette today is that we have no red. So we don't have to worry about using all of the 5 colors that we originally use. So all I'm using today is primary blue. I can't really tilt it down because otherwise it's gonna spill. But I have primary blue, your primary yellow, white, black, and that's pretty much it. Again, I start off with my 2 big brushes. I have all kinds of medium brushes today, but you can use really any of these brushes today. So I have like a mini filbert here, a round brush, just your standard flat brush here, and this is a smaller flat brush here. Now, I also have your, there you go, your liner brushes. So I have all kinds of sizes, but again, really any size will do. All right, let's get started. So again, we got a lot of blending today. I want to go ahead and make a big pile of this teal color that we have towards the middle. It's the lightest color that we have. So we're going to do a teal, and we're going to work with that teal with blue. By adding more blue, we're going to work our way out until we get to the black, and then we'll mix a little bit of black with blue. So again, I'm going to make a lot of teal, so that way I don't have to keep remaking it. All I do is add some blue, yellow, and then I'll get my white as I go with it to lighten it up. But I want to get that teal color first. So I don't know if y'all could see that actually. I took a lot of blue and a little bit of yellow, and it's a really dark teal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add white to it. And you know what? If you want, you can keep this dark teal, scoop out a little bit more off to the side. Now I do have this bad habit of using my dirty brush and getting some more paint, but I'm going to go ahead and just use another brush to get some white just to line this up. Now to me, it looks a little bit too green on my end. So I am going to add a little bit more blue. But again, what you're looking for is this light teal color right here. I'm almost there. I just need a little bit more white. And I say take your time when it comes down to mixing your colors. You're not in a rush. You want to get them right. Thanks again for being here, everybody. Ricky, I see you. K2, thank you. All right, so I believe I have my color here. Had to mess with them a little bit, but now I'm gonna just load my brush. And I'm using actually my round brush right here. I was just trying to use a smaller brush to mix, but being that we don't have that much of this color, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the brush that I already used to mix. Now I do wanna work fast when I'm adding this. So I wanna add a lot to the canvas and I wanna spread it. And I'm doing a horizontal stroke, but really you could do any stroke because what we're gonna do to blend is we're gonna do circle strokes. But again, add a lot to the canvas so that way you can actually maneuver it easier when we start adding blue right now. Okay, so what I mean by that is we're gonna take that same dirty brush, we're gonna scoop out some blue, and we're gonna go in off the sides. So like if you notice right here, obviously I used more blue right here and it started getting lighter. You can always move some of this paint around. And again, what you want to do is you want to just get it on there, but you see it getting that gradiency color. So again, just keep adding more blue to your brush. You don't have to add anything else, just add more blue. But we want to add it on there fast because what we're going to do is now we're going to take our big brush. It should be dry right now. And we're going to take our big brush and blend all this out. All right, so again, I'm going to take my big brush here and I'm going to do circle motions. Oh, circle motions. So I'm going to start with the lightest area and I'm going to move my way out. If for any reason you go into the darker area like I just did and you haven't finished your lighter area, just go ahead and clean off your brush with either a paper towel or a microfiber. And again, start from the lightest and work your way around. If you're having a hard time moving your brush on there, it's because your paint is drying. So again, what you could do is you can very damply, you don't want a lot, just want a little bit of water on your brush, the tiniest bit. I'm actually rubbing some of it off. You want the tiniest bit of water to be able to move your brush a little bit smoother. Now we're going to go back in with more color right now, but we don't want to see any harsh lines. We want all of this to blend out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that same big brush and I'm going to go and start from, again, the lightest point and work my way around. If it is dragging the paint, again, stop, let it dry, and then you'll be able to add that second coat on there. Hey, what's up, James? We missed you. Thanks for being here. So again, what I'm doing now is really just a second coat. I want to get more paint on this. So I was kind of just waiting it out to dry as far as this middle part. And being that the paint is still a little bit wet on the side as far as the blue that I just added, I'm going to continue doing that circle motion to get that gradiency. Now, don't be scared of taking this light blue, somewhere else and working your way out. All right, so I'm going to let this dry for a little bit. I do want to do a second coat to get more paint on here. And I actually ran out of my teal, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some teal. So again, all I'm doing is a lot of blue, some yellow, and then I'm lighting it up with a little bit of white. I keep using the brush that I need to put tape on. It's all loose. When you have a favorite brush, you have a favorite brush. It's hard to let go. Actually, I might as well just put tape on it right now. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I'm just trying to color match the color that I made. Now again, if my paint has dried over here, all I have to do is just add a little bit more blue to my brush. And I can go ahead and keep going. So I like to add, as I'm trying to do a second coat, I like to add that blue still on my dry brush. So I can get that gradiency effect. Oh, dang, James. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay. Okay, so now that we have our middle area right here, we're going to go ahead now and start working towards the black now. I'm sorry, I just want to add a little bit more here. But again, all we're going to do is the same process, but now we're going to just work with our blue and then slowly but surely start adding black. It is going to come down to this edge right here, actually both sides. Sorry, my hand's kind of in the way. But I do hope this view is a lot better than the other one. That way I could see the painting a lot closer up. And again, I'm taking my same dirty brush, adding the tiniest bit of black, and working my way into the blue, outside. I do have to kind of wipe this one down because it does have some of that light blue on it. Give me a sec. Marin, I'll tell you this. I'm wearing all these shirts because they have paint all over them. And for some reason, I can't find paint on this one. But yeah, I have specific shirts that I wear for painting. Because, yeah, it does find a way onto your clothes, that's for sure. I'm going to wipe some of that black off of my brush, dip it in some blue, and again, if I feel like it's not, if I think it's not blended enough, I'll just go in with the previous color, or the lightest color, I'm sorry, being that we're using black here, and then just working my way around. Okay, cool. I'm going to let this dry. But while we're letting that dry, let's go ahead and work right here. So I'm going to clean my brush. And it's funny you say that, Marin, because my paintbrush is actually right next to my coffee. Or my water, my paintbrush water. I've definitely dipped my brush into my coffee before. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to go in with more blue. I just really like the blending aspect of this painting. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and I didn't mention this in the beginning. I'm sorry. I like to go ahead and blacken out canvases for these type of paintings where it's mainly dark. So if you were starting off with a white canvas, you definitely can keep it white because these colors would pop out in the center. But you can also do it dark too. You would just have to do multiple layers with dark one. But I think with it just makes it easier to work with for me personally. Right now we're just making the hill with solid black. Yeah, cheers, y'all, on coffee. Give thanks. Okay, so now that we got that, you could take either your liner brush or you could take any of your medium brushes, like your flat brush, and we're going to make the grass. And it's all solid black. If you use your liner brush, you're going to have to do it individually as far as the grass blades. But if you don't want to do that, then you could take your medium brush, like a flat brush. You could do it with a round brush too, this guy. But again, it would be more individual strokes. So what I'm doing now is I put paint on my brush and I kind of like flicked it on the palette so that way I can get, and I don't know if I could see this right now, but my brush has paint. It's just that it's all individual. It doesn't look like a solid. Can y'all see that? I don't know. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go up as far as strokes. Very short upward strokes. They don't have to be the same, like going the same direction. I can do some on the left, some on the right, some straight. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to do that same short stroke all across. Doesn't matter as far as the middle. We're going to go ahead and add our cat towards the middle. But just as long as we can get those grass blades across. And if you run out of paint, same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit off. Some can be longer, some can be shorter, don't matter. Oops. It doesn't matter right there. I'm going to add my cat. So happy accidents. And no, I'm not worried about flicking that paint on, to be honest. It's a very dark painting in general. A little black splotch is not gonna do anything. But I didn't really add that much paint to my brush to begin with. It's just so I can go ahead and get that texture up here. All right, so what we want to do is we kind of want to wait till the paint is dry in the background before we add our cat. So I'm still gonna wait for this little area to just dry out a bit. And actually, while we wait, what I could do is I could show y'all the shape to make the cat. I have multiple pens, but for some reason, a bunch of them don't work. So let's see if this one works. Nope. No. All right, this one's gonna do. Okay, so for the shape of the cat, you can go in several ways, several different directions. the way I'm going to go ahead and do it myself is you want to get the body in. I want to say before you start getting the legs in and whatnot. So I just do like a oval shape, but I'm not, kind of like a tombstone, an oval shape. You can do, you know, the entire oval, but it doesn't matter. I would just keep it at the tombstone shape. Okay, I need to get another pen. One of these is bound to work. Perfect. All right. So tombstone shape. It's just oval. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do small circles, or half circles, I'm sorry, off on the side. You can even do like more ovally if you want to. Maybe it's a little fat cat. Who knows? And then from there, I'm going to do another circle that actually comes in a little bit. And then for the cheeks, I'm just going to add a little half circle for the cheeks. So obviously this is all going to be blacked out. And then you do little cat ears at the top. But essentially that's the shape. Again, you can go about it another way. You could just go ahead and do the half circle, do the body, another circle, cat ears, and then your little cheeks off to the side. They're not that big like Chick Monkey, so I'm going to do those with the brush very slightly. And I don't know if y'all could tell with the stars here, but he's looking at a fishbone. So, you know, if you want multiple, like let's say 2 cats on there, we could do that. In fact, I can actually show y'all on this one. And if you want to do any other thing on the stars, you know, if you want to do a heart or an Orthodox cross or, you know, anything you want, you can go ahead and add to the stars. But we got a little fishbone here. All right. I'm going to throw all these pens away. Yeah, I do have a dead collection. I think most of these are pretty dead, but they're all. I used to do a lot of drawing with these type of pens. Hold up, can y'all even see that? Oof. Oh, there we go. Like y'all see how small that is? They're all micro pens. So it's for like, I don't know, more comic book stuff. And yeah, it's true, Ricky. I also never know when they dry out. I have to test all of those and see if they're any good anymore. All right, I want to check real quick if my paint's dry. It looks like it is. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get started on this cat. Now I am going to do this with my liner brush as far as the shape, just because I don't want a big brush to, mess me up. But if you feel confident enough to do it with a big brush, then by all means, then you can fill it in. Where's my... Okay, so I'm doing this with all black. I coated my brush with it. There we go. I coated my brush with it. So now I'm going to go in, and like I said, if you want to add more than one, we'll do that with this one right here. Being that I have more than one, I just want to make sure that they're centered. So again, all I'm doing is the tombstone shape, or the half oval. I'm gonna go in with my half circles off to the side for the legs. Do its little friend over here off to the side. And they're not going to hold hands because that's gay. But you could do as many as you want. Okay. Now we're going to work on the head. Hey, what's up, Smoking Spaceman? Thanks for being here. Okay, let's go ahead and do the head. Again, it's just going to be a circle that comes in to the body. Like so. Now, somebody did mention to me how if they were interested in any of the paintings, how they can get them. I wanted to go ahead and ask, obviously, if you guys are interested in something like that. I wouldn't know as far as shipping outside of the US, but I think everybody's in the US here. But I came up with a price, and I think solid 45 is actually decent. These are all 10 by 10s. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna do the cheeks now. Just wanted to grift a little. I'm just letting you know. If you are interested, you could definitely get one. But now we're going in with our cheeks. And again, they're not big chipmunk size cheeks. We're just doing a half circle off to the side where it's closer to the body. Okay, now we're going to do the ears. So again, the ears is more of a triangle off to the side. They're not in the middle. And I like to make these triangles a little bit fatter. I actually don't like that one, but it don't matter. And we can't forget the tail. So that's why I'm using a liner brush right here, because I could fill all these areas in, with a liner brush here. But the tail, you could do it, as curly as you want it or not. But all I'm doing is just doing a curl and leading it back to the cat. Okay. So now that we have our cat shape on there, what we could do now is work on the little highlights that are on the cat. So I don't know if y'all could see it from there, but there's a couple of highlights right at the top of its head. Then we have one off the shoulder area. And then we have two on the legs area, as well as the ears. So if y'all see that, oh, actually, hold up. There we go. So again, we're going off the light source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same teal that we made for the sky, and I'm going to add some white and make it really light. A lightish. A lightish teal. So this is the original. And I just taken a little bit of white and making a very light teal. Now what I'm going to do for this part is I'm actually going to use my finger to kind of blend it out. So what I want to do as far as consistency of the paint, I do want it to be more wet than a thick consistency. So if you notice, my brush, if I push down, the paint kind of comes off. So it's like a watery texture. It's not too watery, but it's not thick either. So all I'm doing is one tiny stroke across the top of the head. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to blend it downwards. Just like so. And I'm going to do that all throughout the body. So again, we have one, what is it called? Closer to the shoulder area right here. So I'm going to just do a little line. And now I'm going to blend this one towards the body, towards the inside of the body. So that the top, it was going straight down. Off to the shoulder is going off to the right side. Same thing with the leg over here. Just taking my finger and rubbing it. That sounds so bad. And blending it. There we go. I also want to do that for the tail, but since my tail's still a little wet right here, I'm going to wait. But I do want to do it for the ears as well. And now since I did this light reflection on this side, I'm just going to do it the same thing, but on the opposite side of this cat. If for any reason you don't like any of the highlights that you've made, it's really simple to fix it. Just go over it with black. let your black dry, and then you can go over it. So being that my paint wasn't wet enough, I wasn't able to push it downward too much. Get that blend. I might go over just the tiniest bit with black so I can make more of an edge here. And then same thing with the tail. The tail I do in parts, so I'll just do a tiny stroke and move down, but I'm not going to go all the way down. Just a little bit. Y'all renting about pens in there? Oh, y'all funny. Okay. Y'all are hilarious. Let's go back to this over here. We're going to go ahead and work now on the actual light source on the grass area over here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big brush. I'm going to use the light color that we just made to make these indications of that light area. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, or you know what? It makes it even simpler. It makes it simpler to just go ahead and use just your regular blue and cover the areas that you want light source. So for example, I want light source to come through the cats here. And all I'm doing is a back and stroke motion. And I start with a little bit at the top, and I'm going to spread this out. And again, this is just with regular blue. I'll do a little bit more here. Nothing too crazy. But again, the more I go down, the more I'm going to spread it out. But it doesn't matter. You see how mine kind of goes in and then out. You could do whichever way you like as far as your light source. I'll add some light source going down this way. If you want to overcomplicate yourself and do the shadow of the cat, you can also do that. I'll try to do it right now. I'm going to do the top of the head first and then work my way into the ears. And if you want to have it like that, where you have more light source after the cat, you could do that too. And you can get more detailed. Like if you want to add actually more grass down here, you could do that too. And no, the original is not done on gloss paint. What I did is I added varnish to the painting so that way the colors really stand out. Once I add varnish to this, it's going to do the same thing that it did with this painting. It's not cheating. People add varnish to their paintings all the time so that way it stands out. It's a clear coat. So it also protects the painting. All right, now that my blue is all on there, I'm going to take that light blue and I'm going to go in there with little areas. Again, little indications of more light source. Yeah, see, Ricky knows what I'm talking about. Varnish is just to go ahead and make your painting stand out after it's all done. I don't know if y'all ever seen videos of people varnishing their paintings after, but it just makes them come alive in a sense. What I'm doing right now is actually just going over with more black to kind of blend out that blue that I added too. So that way it's not like a harsh line of blue. Excuse me. No one's cheating here. Yeah, thank you, Ricky. It does protect the paint. Let's say if something were to spill on it, you know, it would slide off. If you needed to use water for any reason to clean it off. This painting looked just like this one when I was done with it. I'm pretty sure you could see it on the post that I did for this exact painting. It was before I varnished it. So you'll see a difference. But again, it just makes it stand out a whole lot more. Makes those colors really brighten up. All right, we're going to take our liner brush now. And we're going to take that same light blue that we've made. And now we're going to add those light source indications on the grass blades that we've made. So all I'm doing is the tiniest bit of lines on the grass. I'm not doing it on every grass blade that I see, but I am doing it on some of them. Again, just to show that indication of light. Oops. And actually, I want to make a little bit more grass on the middle here. Yeah, if that's cheating, I'm a shortstop for the Mets. Okay. We're gonna go ahead now and work on the stars. It's the last part of the painting here. While I let my blue dry, and I'll see how that ends up drying off. But again, you can add more down here if you want to. If you want to add more blue areas, you're more than welcome to do what you like. Practice with what you don't like. You don't want to completely kill the black on the bottom though. Okay. So for the stars, all I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of white and the tiniest bit of yellow. And the same blending process that we use to show the light source on the cats is what we're going to do with our stars. So what I mean by that, and let me see if I can actually bring this a little closer so y'all could see. So I'm going to do just a tiny dot on the canvas. I'm going to rub it with my finger, blend it out, and then I'll put another tiny dot just on top of it. What I want to do is I want to get like this, I don't know if y'all could see that. Yeah, I don't know if y'all could see that. But you'll see, like, for example, this star right here. It has some like color going around it, and then it's got that bright color right on top. Some of the stars have it, some of the stars don't have it. So that's what you want to do. And again, you can make whatever shape you want as far as what the stars are showing. Again, we have a fishbone on our original painting. So if we want to do a fishbone, again, it's just the shape of the actual fishbone. Hold up. Can y'all see that? I started with one line right across with dots, and then the fish bones were going kind of like what do you call that sign? What do you call that sign? You know what I'm talking about. The shape right here that I'm seeing, or that you're seeing, it's like a V shape. It's used in math. Anyway, I did a couple of those. I think I have like 3 or 4. And then the shape of the tail is just a oval with a point on the end. Fish head, just a triangle that kind of comes inward towards the fishbone side, or I mean the spine side. Kind of comes in like an arrow. But I think for these cats right here, since it is 2, I think we're gonna do a little heart. Yay! All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I have my brush loaded with that yellow color, that light yellow color that we made. And I did add water to this because I do want it to be where it's watery enough where I can blend it out, just like how we did this color down here for the cats. Yeah, you might be able to see it a little bit better now that it's on the light here, but it's a little fishbone right here. I try to make it not as obvious, but I guess it really isn't obvious. Maybe I should do more stars that indicate it. But this one, again, I'm doing a heart shape. So I'll just start by doing my dots. I'll go in with rub just a couple of them, or I'm sorry, blend out just a couple of them. Oh, that sounds amazing, Alicia. Thanks for being here. Again, appreciate it. You take care. Have fun with the kids. Thanks for stopping by. So again, if I want to show if I want the stars to be obvious, I can make them even more uh, bigger, like just a bigger dot. And then after that, you can do as many or as little stars as you want all throughout. I do like to add stars in the areas um, in between just because I don't want it to be super obvious what I'm doing as far as the shape. I want people to look at it so that way they're like, oh, I finally see the fish bone. Oh, I finally see the heart. Hence why this is called Cat Dreams. He's dreaming about having a fish bone. Look at him. He's so lonely. But good thing we got a little nice thing going on over in this picture. And again, all I'm doing is I'm making a circle, or I mean a dot, blending it out, and then adding just another dot on top of it. I'm not doing it with all the stars. Again, you want to add some tiny ones, some, medium-sized ones. If you want to add a shooting star, that's your prerogative, but anything you want to add to this. Okay. Obviously, I can add as many stars or as little stars as I want. It doesn't all have to be yellow either, like that light yellow. If you want to go in with just plain white and add, some plain white as well, you can make these even tinier. And again, if you want to make that heart a little bit more visible, just keep doing that blending technique, adding more bigger dots on top of it. And it can make it extremely visible. So again, I can go ahead and add really big dots to make it even more visible. Who knows? Maybe there's even an arrow going through it. Y'all can see the arrow. Hold up, let me see if y'all see it a little bit better like that. Can y'all see the arrow on the heart? Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate that. Again, my condolences to you, but I hope everything gets better. Well, I'm sorry. I sound very insensitive that way. I'm praying for you, dude. Every day we do a little better, just like Chris. But that's it, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna leave it up just for a little bit more, just so y'all could see it. And Ferrer, if you want to see the varnish action, I could show it just so you see what happens once I add varnish to this. Now, granted, my paint is still kind of wet down here, but again, I'll leave it up just for a little bit, see if that paint dries. If it does, I can actually spray varnish live so y'all could see. I do have a regular varnish that I can use with a brush, but usually I save that kind of varnish for oil paintings. Thanks for stopping by, James. Again, I appreciate it. And again, thanks for everybody who stopped by. I hope y'all like these. I will be doing another one coming up this Tuesday. And that will be the Vincent van Gogh Nightmare Before Christmas painting, which I will be working on today, so I can have a example for you guys. Now, that one I will go back to the other way I was painting, just because it is a rather large canvas that I want to do it on, just so y'all could see the all the color that really goes into it. All the color, even though it is a simple painting, it does have detail on it. So yeah, I think this paint is going to take a while for it to dry. I'm not really sure why this is actually, well, I'm not really sure why it does that right now. It is dry. I thought it wasn't because of the way it looked. All right, let's do top coat time. Now, I don't recommend to use any aerosol, anything inside of your house, but I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get this done. Let me move my paint off to the side, and then yes, thank you, Pereira. Wear a mask. Truthfully, I like the smell of it, so I don't care. But yeah, if you notice, again, the colors immediately pop out. Now the shine is probably getting to, but those colors just pop out immediately. There we go. So again, here's our original. Oh no, yeah, I'll be fine. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Y'all have a great day. Go to liturgy tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one.